Hey guys, Boris Lasser from BK Forex. Welcome to our Forex Daily Technicals for 6/12/13. As always, trading Forex on margin carries a high level risk maneuver suitable for all investors. And I ask you to read this disclaimer very carefully to understand all the risks associated with trading on margin and seek advice from a financial advisor if you have any doubts. So the story of the day today, I think, is going to be euro dollar breakout. It's the big question: is it knocking on breakout's door at this point? I'm going to pull up the chart here, and you can see that we're on the cusp here: 31.15, 31.20. We've been knocking against this level pretty much all day long. And if you go back on a more longer term time frame, you basically see that a breakthrough here, like sort of really into the 25s, kind of clearing all of this last bit of resistance, really puts us into a strong position to make a run towards the 34s and really the 34-35 corridor. It basically shows that we've completed this very, very strong W formation and now ready to kind of take out to the upside. A failure here, however, just simply puts this into is yet another double top formation, just right around this very, very chunky area. So definitely a very critical juncture for the euro tonight. We'll have to see how it's trading. It's really come back against some very, very powerful fundamental factors that have been weighing on it. The German constitutional story kind of weighing on it. The data has not been that great. The yield spikes in Italy and Spain. Everything not really looking as robust as possible. But the market is, I think, overall basically betting on the fact that the European economy is turning around. They looked at better French data recently, and I think the overall view here is that they're giving it a huge benefit of the doubt. So whether this benefit of the doubt can translate into a further breakout is, I think, going to be the key thing today, or we're going to get some skepticism and we're going to turn it back. At this point, I think the 33.25, 33.30 area really puts us firmly into the breakout territory and then gives us the opportunity for a run towards the 34s, 35s over the next several days. Yen, of course, was a disaster today. Complete, basically liquidation, complete unwind of yesterday's upward rally after the BOJ disappointed the market. We came right back into the 96s. Although the one thing that is interesting is, and this is a key thing to watch here, is do we hold higher than the day prior? In other words, do we hold 96s or do we trail all the way back up and try to test the 95s tonight? That's going to be a key tell, because if we can kind of just sort of hold above 96s, not exactly a bullish structure, but sort of the end of the bearish structure where we could probably consolidate for a little while before it breaks to the upside. On the other hand, we start drifting all the way to 95s and actually start to break the 95s, really massively bearish. Because what that means is you have this huge topping formation and a complete unwind, further tripping of the stops. Remember, these stops over here are probably from a longer term traders, and they're going to start freaking out at 94s, 93s if we start coming down into that area. So yen definitely also worth watching for further volatility as we go ahead. Cable kind of following the same script as euro, right on the cusp of taking out some key levels. The 56.82 level is a large level. If we have good employment numbers tonight, we could possibly run the 57s. We get above the 57s. That of course puts us in a very comfortable zone to try to run the into the 58-160 corridor, kind of like the 34-35 corridor that you see in the euro. And lastly, Aussie has kind of stabilized. I'm scared to actually use those words, but if you look at this candle, and we've had a few of those, so there's been a few fake outs, but still, overall, this is a relatively decent turn candle. Basically, we tested the lows, came back, ended up on the highs. It's a big hammer formation, and generally that tends to suggest a turn of trend from downtrend to perhaps an uptrend. I mean, we've had one over here, we've had one over here, we had a failure of it essentially over here in some ways, a little bit of a modest recovery over here, then another failure. So we'll have to see. I do think that obviously the Aussie highs here, 94.75s, 94, basically 94, 95s, really the critical level in the Aussie. 95s, we can take out 95s. That would cover the gap that we had on Sunday afternoon, and kind of hold above 95s. That would be a much more bullish construct. That would suggest that finally bargain hunters came into the Aussie. That also, by the way, actually creates an interesting, again, back to the single most interesting cross on the trade is Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie today, big flame out on the move here, right? really big flame out, that may be another tell that we're at the end of a trend, or just sort of an exhaustion of the trend. Again, a lot of these things can fake you out, but generally they tend to be a relatively good signal. You see another signal over here in a much more minor formation, but the fact that we have just a massive signal here, went through the 42s and ended up below the 41s, suggests we may be in at a course of a turn here. So another trade may be worth looking at on a longer term basis as a possible spec onto the short side. So that's how the market shapes up for the day. Wishing you guys the best of luck and the best of trading. This is Boris Schlossberg, over and out.